I'm Tyson.
I'm Casey.
I'm Shandi.
And this is Into the Stream. What up, Copper family? I'm so excited to that you guys are here. We have one of the best guests ever, and we always have great guests. And so, Shandi, we're so pumped that you're here. Happy birthday!
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Congratulations on turning 25.
Yeah. Well, I wish it was that, but I'll take it.
No, I think that's amazing. So thank you for taking time on your birthday and letting us get to know a little bit about who you are and what you do, and us as and there's there's women in this chat too. What's up, Ellie? How you doing?
We've got a few awesome women supporters in the community. Quite a few.
Yeah,
a few handfuls of great supporting women in this community.
Awesome.
So we're excited to hear your feed off your knowledge and learn and grow from it. So we're really excited. So I appreciate that. And so, what's up, E? Hope you're doing well. And so he's out of Maryland, and he's a super nice guy.
He's been on the lodge a few times with Tyson. So,
what's up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? Ellie again.
Dan,
Travis, hope you're doing well.
Travis.
Jason, what's up? What's up, Mark? Jason, though, is a freaking stud.
I knew you were going to say it. You have to.
Yeah, he's a Mark, I already said hi. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you being here. I really do. We're just going to keep going. There's a lot of people in here. So I hope if I miss you guys, I apologize. What's up, Michael P? Hope you're doing well. And Travis, appreciate you always being here and supporting us. And I appreciate that. So,
Michael P is another barber.
Yes, he is out of Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, how you doing, buddy? Steven is from Ireland, and he never misses. So appreciate that, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mr. Beard Laws, Matt. If you're on TikTok, Shandi, follow Beard Laws, Matt. He's
for sure.
He's really good.
Cool. It will.
Hey, happy birthday, Shandi.
Thank you.
So, Otis Dickerson just bought some of your beer brother. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Appreciate that, man. Is this the first time you're on our channel? If so, I really appreciate that.
I haven't seen his name before, so welcome in if it is. Thank you.
So, Shandi, do you know this Gage?
Yes, I do. Hello, Gage.
I was like, I don't know who he is. Is he one of your
He's
barbers?
actually a really good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone that's new tonight.
Yeah.
And why don't you guys, the normal guys in the chat, welcome everyone in if you can.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey guys.
Welcome Otis, welcome Gage, and then welcome Connor. What's up?
Welcome, Connor.
Oh, hey.
So who is Connor?
Hi. Huh?
Is Connor another friend or one of your barbers?
That's my boyfriend.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Is he in the other room waiting for you to take you out on your birthday?
No, he actually lives in Minnesota, so it's like
wow.
we're long distance.
Wow. Don't you know? Does he say that all the time?
Huh?
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
That is
where's she located? All right, Chad. Keep it.
I'm from South Dakota. I'm from South Dakota, Shandi. So I kind of get that a lot up here too. So
do you get that a lot?
Uh-huh.
Zeb, how you doing, buddy? Zeb is if the Wizard of Oz had a remake, he'd be one of the Munchkins.
Oh, that's so funny. So I just got a poppy tattooed on my leg, and I used to tell everybody that my name was Dorothy. So
there you go.
Yeah.
No, Zeb is one of the nicest guys, and he's not that short. He's like 5'2", 5'1". I just give him a hard time.
That's so funny.
So
well, you said only tuned in for my best friend. Well, I hope you come back sometime, Gage.
Truly.
Hopefully this is a good show and you want to come back again.
Well, thanks,
and then,
Gage.
All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, Shandi?
Well, my name's Shandi. I have been in the hair industry for 14 years now. And then been a barber strictly since 2016. I started actually when I came back. I took some time off from doing hair completely, and I had my little girl, and eventually came back to it, and I started at a Sport Clips, and I worked my way up from working at a Sport Clips to now I own my barber shop. It's called That Gentleman's Barber Shop. I've been the owner of it now since September, and it's been super exciting. Such an adventure. Being a business owner has been wild, but it's fun for sure. So but I've been doing that for 6 years, very passionate about it. I honestly can't see myself being in any other industry, to be honest.
So
And
what? Sorry.
go ahead. Sorry.
So
go ahead,
what
Tyson.
made you want to become a barber? Like, why are you so passionate about being a barber?
So I always so the school that I went to had separate barbering and cosmetology sides. So they put you on one side for half of the year. And they really went down into barbering, where most cosmetology programs don't do that. They truly taught you how to barber. They taught us how to do everything without guards. So I can do a whole haircut without using a guard. I can do it comb and clippers. And they wouldn't allow us to even do that. And so I felt like I always had just to step up from just the basic cosmetologist. And so I went and I kind of ran with those skills a little bit more. And I loved shaving. That was a big part of it as well. And in all honesty, not that men are easier, because they can definitely be pickier and their hair is more
we're picky.
technical. They're definitely more technical as well. So you got to have more precision to it. And I think that I find it that I can make them happy with their haircuts a little bit more easily than a woman. So, in all honesty, so they were a little bit more difficult. Not that I hated it by any means, but I found I couldn't make them as happy. So I tended to go more towards the men's direction.
So Dancy Bearded, he's a good friend of ours, and he said, "I love shaving. I revoke my hello to Shandi."
He's obviously a big beard advocate. So shaving is not the biggest looked up thing. And
well, so not like shaves, like do the lineups. I do a full lineup.
Well, and you can always. I need to shave
head shave.
Shave the head too.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
And then we got Mr. Cruz right here. He's out of New Jersey, and he's going to be coming down in the first week of July. And I would love to introduce you to him, and you get to maybe get an interview from him. He does a lot of barber YouTube.
I would love that. Yeah,
So-
Yeah,
that'd be
Dan
awesome.
and Cruz, those guys will all be down there here soon. So
Yeah,
That's
it'll be fun.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
I was telling you about that when we were talking before.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
how has business been? How have you seen it from infancy in September, and how have you seen it grown?
So it has been really awesome. I was lucky enough to come into a barber shop that was pretty established, and we were able to change the name. And so these barbers that I have in my shop are absolutely incredible barbers. I feel really lucky to have the people that I have. We're all very experienced barbers in the industry
are.
for 20 years. So we all have a lot of knowledge and education. And the greatest thing that I think about our barber shop that we have collectively is that none of us think we know it all. We all want to be able to learn more and grow as barbers and people in general. And so I really appreciate that with our barber shop. And so it's grown a lot. And I think that our clients really appreciate the people that we are as well.
I love that.
that's awesome.
It is.
There's always something you can expand on, in all aspects of your life. So I that's a great statement. I love that.
Thank you.
So everyone in chat, we do have a set of questions we would like to ask her, but we do want to get to your questions. We're starring them as we go. But I
So we'll try
definitely
not to miss anything, guys.
So Casey and I are both starring stuff, so, and hopefully we don't miss anything. But first question that comes from someone is Chad, and Chad wants to know, what's the best way to find a barber?
So I always say give a barber 2 chances at least, because the first time they're going to cut your hair, they're learning it. They're figuring out exactly how it's going to work, and they might not get it totally right. But if you go back and you're honest with them and they're a good barber, they're going to listen to the recommendations and the things that you feel could have been better. And they'll take that and do what they can to improve upon that. So I always say, give them at least 2 chances, maybe 3 at the most. But if you feel like at 3, they're not understanding what you're wanting, then move on to somebody else.
And I would
Great
ask
idea.
the question, what do you think makes it hard to cut someone for the first time? Is it because everyone has a different shape, or is it everyone just do you think it's what they are expecting, that it's hard? What do you think makes that tough for that first cut?
So sometimes you don't know exactly where their hair is going to start sticking out on the side. So if you take it a little bit too short, now the next time you're going to know, okay, I can't take it just that much shorter. So you're going to learn those little tweaks and those little aspects to somebody's hair, hopefully by the second or third time that you've cut it. And then you're able to see sometimes, especially if you're going into like a fade, people have different bumps and notches in their head that you have to be able to be aware of. And the first time you cut somebody's hair, you have no idea where those are. Yeah. Is your head kind of that way?
Oh, I've got some little moles and stuff and whatever, that, yes, everyone's different. That's kind of what I was getting to. So you can't just cut someone's hair and then expect to cut this person's hair the same way.
Exactly.
Everyone's different. Right.
Exactly.
Well, nice. All right. So now let's get to some of our questions. So what do you expect? So we were talking as a group from in the chat, as well as Casey, and we had a couple of guys. Zeb was in here that we were making fun of just a second ago.
Yeah.
So we were in here and we're talking about things like we expect as bearded men, what barbers should know as we walk into the shop.
Yeah.
So you as an owner, as a hiring person, what do you expect your barbers to know about maybe beard trimming, beards, and overall just grooming, for hair and that?
So for beard grooming, I expect them to know how to do a lineup on a beard, because most people want their beards to be able to be nice and sharp. Some people do like that more natural look. And then knowing just the different face shapes and what works best for particular people. Knowing how to give a shape, either a square shape, you're going to give it a round shape, or give it more of that like triangular shape. And if they want those sharp lines or not, you have to be able to ask your clients what they're looking for as well. That's one of the biggest things, is a good consultation with your client.
And consultation is key.
Yeah. Really understanding what your client is looking for. A barber needs to be able to ask the right questions for that.
And what is your perfect client?
Ooh.
Is there a perfect client?
Well, no, what I mean though is like, I'll go in there. Like I went to a barbershop that I had a horrible experience. And I think I told you about this, Shandi.
Yes.
And I was just shocked about how crappy it was. And I always felt like I was a good one, and I gave her a really good tip and all that. And even though I was really depressed about what she did,
and obviously we won't mention any.
Oh,
names,
heavens no,
so.
no.
Yeah.
But I felt like I told her exactly what I wanted, and it didn't happen. So, what do you expect your customers to be like, and what do you teach your barbers to be like with their customers, that are what and how they listen in the consultation you're talking about?
Yeah. In all honesty, a lot of what you are doing for somebody and what they're wanting is the responsibility of the barber to figure out. We should, as barbers, know what questions to ask. A lot of the times when I ask somebody how they want their haircut, their first response is, I don't really know. So I have to find my questions to lead them in the direction, not necessarily lead them, but asking open-ended questions to how you want that style to be. So I'll be like, okay, well, do you like it to be tighter to your face, or do you want it to be a little bit further out? Would you like it to be longer lengthwise? Do you want it to hit maybe about here, or do you want it to be here? Shape-wise, I actually take my hands, how I showed you guys earlier, and I'll show these shapes, because people don't know how to ask for what they want.
Yeah.
They're not educated on what we know as barbers. So they come in and they're just like, I don't know how to ask you for what I'm wanting. And so our jobs as barbers is to know the questions, to ask them to get to that end goal. And I also love photos. Photos are a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
A wonderful tool.
Well, what if you have different sizes of heads? You really do. You have small head, you have a oval head, you have a fat head, you have a round head. Everyone has different shapes and sizes and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever got a question? It's like, I want my haircut like this, right? No, you don't.
Yes, I have had plenty of people where I will say your hair doesn't grow like that. I can give you your version of that. And you have to give them their expectations up front, because if they're expecting one thing and you say, yeah, I can give you that, but you really cannot give them that because their hair is different, that's the responsibility of a barber to say, your hair is going to be different, but I'll give you the cut that is similar.
Right. And
why
your
are
job,
all barbers like that?
your job,
That's
you want to make your client as happy as possible when they walk out the door with their cut. That I'm sure that's a high priority for you, I'm sure. So
Absolutely.
if you're not listening, if you're telling them things that you can't necessarily accomplish, you're not going to get that end result.
So it's just honesty, and like setting an expectation, I think, is very important for a client, because if they're, like they said, if they're expecting one thing and they don't get that, they're going to leave being disappointed every time.
Right.
Well, that's what, see, Matt, this is serious. Like, I have, he's like, I've been trying to figure out what I want for years. And that's kind of what I was going for, is like, I go in there and I'm like, what will look good on me? I have, 6 inches of hair. What will look good on me? I don't know. What do you want? I'm like, no, you're supposed to be the expert. You're supposed to tell me.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you're training your barbers and that your expertise are like that.
Yeah. So it's, and like I said, it's open-ended questions. Like, how much time do you want to spend on your hair in the morning? That's a big question for any barber to ask, because even your beard, same thing. How much time do you want to spend on it? What kind of processes do you want to have? Because then that tells me how I can cut it for you. Because if you want a long beard, but you don't want to spend the time drying it, straightening it, putting the oils in, putting the balms in, doing those things to it, then
you should.
I would recommend having a shorter beard.
Right.
Because then it's less work for you. So it's those kind of questions that you've got to ask.
So a couple of people are asking, do you offer edge ups or shape ups?
Like a lineup. You can come in and get lineups as well. So I always add that onto my services. My beard service comes with, I lay you back, I put a hot towel on you, I'm rubbing those oils, your guys' oils, actually. I use the back bar. Yeah, nice. It's great.
That's awesome.
So I'm using it as the back bar. And before I'm shaving, I'm using different oils, hot towels. They all get lineups with their beards.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another question is, curious if Shandy's familiar with a transparency beard trim.
I have not heard of that before. What would you...
That's when you have Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, just a chin where you have...
Where it's just really thin?
It gets thinner at the bottom.
So yes. Yeah. Are you wanting it to become fuller?
Right. Yes. Right. So you just cut that little bit off so that it looks more groomed and well managed, but at the same time it leaves that thickness and that length.
Yeah. So you don't want to be able to see your hand behind it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So the biggest recommendation that I have for if you feel like you have the transparency in there, don't cut a line in.
Right.
Underneath your beard. Because you want all of that hair that's coming up and growing into that to come into there. Yeah, that's gonna make it be cool.
So much. You made yourself so credible with this audience, just so you know.
Oh yeah,
because that's a huge thing that we push to. Every one of us in this chat absolutely agree with you completely. It's like you never touch that if you want the thickness.
Absolutely.
As Cruz, it's a weird name, but he always talks about girth. He just wants that girth.
Yeah. No, I can understand. I understand what he's saying now when I'm looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Michael P is like, yep, exactly. What's up, Jason? How you doing?
You don't want to do that, because if you're wanting, especially if your beard is thinner, you really want to leave that line as much as possible.
Yeah.
There's occasions if somebody's got a really, really full beard and they want to get rid of some of that, then yes, you can absolutely do it then.
Yeah, you're having that consultation. You're talking to your
exactly.
Customer. I love that about you, Shandy. That's so cool.
Thank you.
So, Michael P, again, who is a barber, he's actually going to be on this show 2 weeks from today.
Oh, awesome.
He wants to know, do you have your barbers do further education, cutting classes and shots?
We're going to the expos and that as of right now. We have free education. Actually, a lot of the barbershops around are starting to do free education. So I'm wanting to start heading to those a little bit more. Since COVID, there hasn't been as much education, and they're starting to get the ball rolling with that a lot more. And I definitely want that to be made to a huge priority with.
Are you going to be there Sunday?
Pardon?
Are you going to be there Sunday?
What one is it on Sunday? Is that John?
A cut above.
Oh yes, cut above the rest.
Yeah.
Yes, that's on the 10th. I do want to go to that.
Yes.
I'm trying to go to that.
Come say hi to us.
I will, absolutely. Yeah, we chatted about that actually last time, I remember.
Yeah. I'm taking off tomorrow morning early so I can drive down there and be there for the weekend. So
nice.
Yes. So I'll get to meet you in person now. So
right.
That's awesome.
Super nice lady. What is Shandy's opinion of Tyson's favorite haircut, the mullet?
I love the mullets. I do. I love mullets. They're probably one of my favorite haircuts too.
Well, didn't she take care of your mullet for a while, Tyson?
No, actually, Shandy has never taken care of my hair. She is busier than she's busy all the time.
Hopefully soon.
I'm sorry.
I'll make some room for you. Okay.
Yeah. All right,
Mikey. Good to see you. Here.
Mikey.
Thanks, bud.
So, Sam, I don't know why we didn't even acknowledge this. Where is your shop?
So I am in Ogden, Utah. Yeah, right off 24th Street.
Right?
So the famous 25th Street in Ogden. We're one street over from that.
Have you? Okay, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But have you been to Union Grill?
I have a couple of times. I think I've only ever gotten a hamburger, so I'm not going to be able to give a really fair opinion.
Steak medallions with their mashed potatoes.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about Roosters or the Union Grill?
Union Grill.
Do they have those now?
They do.
Oh, I'm going.
Crap.
That's where they went. Okay, cool.
Oh, they're so good.
They are great.
What's up, Ron?
Getting Tyson on the topic of food. We'll never leave this.
You don't understand. I'm hungry. Steak just sounds good right now. But it costs like
a little blue cheese on there with a steak.
Yeah. Now we've been asking so many of everyone's questions that I got to see where we are and what we've asked.
Connor said you have improved his beard so much.
Yeah, he hasn't touched mine.
So
you should.
I told him to make it to let it grow out.
Dude, I saw she was working on a client when I showed up, and she did a great job on his beard too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. So the next question is, how do you keep up with the latest trends and hairstyles?
So, you watch the kids and what they're doing. You kind of pay attention to where the kids' hairs are going. They'll start growing them out, doing the shaggy styles. They like to follow the soccer players. That's what's happening right now is longer hair starting to make its comeback around. So the kids start growing it out, and then they start perming their hair, and they started with the mullets. And so everybody kind of progressively follows what the kids start doing. And everything rotates, but it has just like its own little twists to it. So you just kind of pay attention to the little differences between this year's version to like the next year's version.
Okay, I'm going to ask the dumbest question, and I know it's dumb.
Okay.
But when you're 42 like me, and I go in and say, hey, I want this haircut, and it's something that's popular with high school kids or junior high, do you afterwards judge that person and just talk crap about them? Because I have seen some haircuts in my day that people are older than me, and I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be having that haircut.
I don't, because personally, I'm kind of the person that like when I'm older, I'll probably have blue hair. So
see, that's cool. That's the norm of being old. You got to choose what color hair you want.
Yeah. So, but like, I kind of guess I take it in that same aspect, same regards, is that they're just kind of having fun playing with their hair while they still have it, and then they're like, this is the last little bit, I try not to judge anybody on their haircuts. I'm there to cut their hair. So
the last time I went,
this is what I always tell my clients is I say, I'll give you my professional advice and my opinion on your haircut, but I do what you want because you're the one that's wearing it.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So, sorry, Casey.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, you know how you're now carrying Copper John's products, but you also have other products as well, when it comes to head hair and stuff like that. How do you stay current with that? How do you train your barbers to know, like, hey, this is what beard oil is. This is how they're supposed to use it. This is the benefits of it. How do you keep track of that and make sure your barbers know that, or do you?
So We've all been booth renting barbers as of recently. And since I've just come into taking over the barber shop, that hasn't been a thing that I've had the opportunity to start doing yet. But I want to be able to bring in people such as yourself and say, hey, let's do a class with this and educate everybody on the importance of why we should use it, how to use it. I always speak with my representatives who I'm buying. I have reps that I buy all of my products from. And if I have any problems with that product, I don't have a problem saying, hey, what's going on? This doesn't seem to be working the same as what I've seen it do in the past either. And they are able to educate me on things that may have changed or different ways to use the product to make it work the way that I'm wanting it to. For instance, there was I carry this product called Atlas, and I use that in the hair. It's a matte clay.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me, it wasn't working the way I was used to. So he told me to really make sure that I'm emulsifying it into my hands, rubbing it in before I'm putting it into the hair. So I take that and I rub it into my hands to where it almost looks like there's nothing on my hands.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And then I'm putting that into the hair. So I always explain that to my clients. And then my barbers are actually really great at listening to those different things, which helps them educate and learn different tips and tricks on how to use the different products as well.
Well, and also it sounds like you have a lot of tenured employees, tenured barbers, and they actually care. They're in it for a career rather than a stepping stone, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So I think
that makes a big difference.
It really does. I agree completely.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of questions that we're going to hurry and go to the chat. And if we miss any of your questions, will you guys please just ask again?
Yeah, just ask again, and we'll hit it. Hopefully, see it the next time. So
E wants to know if you do any skin fades. Do you use a straight blade when they ask for a skin fade?
So we typically use the balders, mainly because it gets closer than a straight blade is actually going to get.
Really?
Especially for the head, the hair's coarser there, and you're even as hard as you're going to pull, you're never going to get as tight as those foil razors can get. So we tend to use those for bald fades, but I always do the back of the neck, finishing off and going over up higher on the back of the head with the straight razor.
I never would have thought that. I would have thought straight razors for sure.
Yeah, no, those balders tend to get a little bit closer. And then if you want to make it a really nice, smooth experience, I actually just learned this trick, taking talc powder and rubbing it on the back or on the head before you bald it out with the balders. It's nice and smooth.
Michael P, there you go. And Dave, if you're in here still, there you go. There's an idea for you.
Always learning new things.
Dude, I think you're killing it today. This is your first live ever, and you are destroying it. You're doing so good.
Yes. Thank you. I
and
appreciate
it is your birthday, so happy birthday. Great job. You're 25.
Yeah.
I think you're doing awesome. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right. So what is your least favorite haircut to give? And if you say mullet, we're no longer friends.
No, that's my favorite. Ooh, my least favorite haircut to give. I don't know if I have a least favorite haircut. Okay, yeah, I do. I guess just like a basic number 2 with finger length.
That's boring. I get you.
Not my favorite. I can whip that out in 15 minutes and be done. But I never do because I'm like too much of a perfectionist. So even a number 2 with finger length, I'm going to make sure it's perfect before it walks out the door because I have the time to be able to do that with that kind of a haircut.
So how much time do you give for a typical haircut?
30 minutes. And then that comes with a hot towel and a neck shave, everyone. And I do a massage. Not all my barbers do, but I do that.
So how long is the massage? And I will come there tomorrow.
It takes me about 5 minutes about at the end with the hot towel neck shave.
Dude, that's awesome.
That I do.
And I just called you dude. 5. Sorry.
I'm probably going to need one after this weekend too, after the more driving I'm doing. I just came back from Florida and drove 52 hours total down there and back. And so I got to drive.
That's a lot of
another,
he
another
puts
12
the
and 12 there and back. I wanted to touch on this quick too, Tyson. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Mikey said, I've wanted to commit to a mullet, but it seems to be a hit or miss with some. I would say if you want to try it, give it a try.
Do it.
You can always cut it. You can always cut it again. You know, it takes a little commitment to get to that mullet, but if you decide halfway through, I don't know if I'm liking this, you can cut it. So give it a try, Mikey.
So Sam wants to know, what is it? He's the one who asked where your shop was. Sam what is the difference between the mullet? What's the difference between hair pomades, clay, fiber, gum, etc.?
So pomades are typically products that are shinier. They don't have too heavy of a hold unless it's like something like a Suavecito. Those have a heavier, gummier hold to them. But any shinier product is going to be more of a pomade. Clays are things that are going to be more for texture and give you more of that dry, I don't have any product in my hair look. Fibers are a great product if you're looking for a stiff hold. If you don't want your hair to move, you want to go with a fiber product. And those are typically like a middle shine. They're not going to look like greasy like a pomade would, but they're not going to be dry. They're going to look like you have a product in there. And then gums, things like that. Most of the time, they're all the same things with fancy names. But like a gum and a fiber are going to be about the same similarity. And you're going to know that because you put your hands together and pull them apart, and you're going to see all those strings that come apart there. And that just gives it a heavier hold.
All right. Because you're talking about styling and pomades and stuff like that and what they do. I've experienced this, and I know many of other men and women have experienced this, where you pay money, good money, to come see you, get a nice trim. It looks freaking amazing when you leave. The next day, you can't get it to look the same.
Yes.
So how do we ask the barber, or what do we need to do to make sure that we can comb it the same way or style it the same way?
Okay, so the biggest thing I always say is a blow dryer is your best friend. Most guys don't use blow dryers.
Most of these
That
guys
is, I always use a blow dryer. So I'm going to use the blow dryer during your service. If you're not going to go home and use your blow dryer at home on a regular day, it's never going to look the same because a blow dryer tends to make things look fuller, kind of fluffier in a sense. Thicker hair. It's going to give it more volume on the head and in the beard as well. It's going to kind of bring it out, push it out. You're going to be able to give your beard more style and your hair more of a style with that. Blow dryers. And then the second thing that I always recommend is a pre-blow dry product. So I always spray something in your hair before I blow dry it, or I always put in an oil before I blow dry the beard.
There you go.
There's always something in the hair before
you just got credit.
It.
You just got more credit. I mean, that's what we preach: is put oil in, then blow dry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
And a big one for is Dan C. Bearded is kind of known for this, the blowout beard. So you put that blow dryer underneath and you blow it all out. So it gives it more volume, and you can get all those hairs kind of separated from, because they'll get kind of tangled in on each other, and you can kind of separate it and get them out and make it look full again. Using
round brushes and combs for that is awesome as well.
More Texan. So Diablo Bearded, Dave wants to know if you've ever used a heated brush on a client.
I have before. We had one in the shop for a little while. I do like the ability to be able to straighten it, because I don't, as much as I have the ability to straighten it with the blow dryer, I can't fully straighten it as much as a heated brush would do. So I played with it here and there, but I haven't used it too many times on clients. I do notice a big difference in how well it keeps the hair down.
They're
more
talking,
street cred.
They're talking you up, Shandy. So that's awesome.
You don't understand. Thank you, guys. We really have talked about this several times about how we wish we could find a good barber. I think I found a good barber. I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Mo Texan.
It takes some work, you know.
All right. So next question is from Cruz. And I will introduce you to him because he will absolutely want to meet you after this.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it sounds like he wants a haircut, maybe.
Yeah. Do you have a preference in a brand for clippers, trimmers like Wall, Andis, Babyliss, or others?
I've been liking the JRL clippers lately. They cut really beautifully. Trimmers, I love the Babyliss. I think most people are gonna say yes to that. I feel like I've never had a clipper that cuts as sharply or as close as, or trimmer that cuts as well as the Babyliss do. All of us in the barbershop use them. And then we all have the JRLs as of right now too.
You have questions flying in. We're probably not going to get to any more of my questions, but that's okay.
That's fine.
So next question.
We can
Do
go
you
over a little
spend
bit.
the same amount of time when it comes to beards?
As on a haircut?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I do. It's
Nice.
30 minutes for a haircut, 30 minutes for a beard.
Very
Dang,
nice.
that's amazing.
If I'm adding them together, and they don't want to shave, then it's 45 minutes in total. But if they want that beard lined up, then I do a half hour per service.
It's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
You got to have some very, very loyal customers.
I'm very blessed to say that I do.
Yeah. Well, you know what you're doing. So his name's not Ron. I guess I called him Ron. Dan, how often should I trim my hair if it's almost as long as Shandy's? He
I
does.
trim my
He does
hair
have a long beard and a long
every
hair.
2 to 3 months. So, and I use really good shampoos and conditioners. So if your hair is this long, I say every 2 to 3 months, get a good trim.
Nice. Next question. How many different company beard oils products do you have on hand?
On hand, I think that is.
Yeah.
So right now I'm only carrying your products, and then one of our barbers has his own line that he is working on creating, and so he's been testing them out in the shop, and sometimes he'll have some to sell, so we sell his every once in a while as well too.
Dan wants to know, do you spend the same amount of time when it comes? Yeah, we already asked that.
We already asked that. Did I start that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's totally okay, man.
Yeah.
And Mikey asks, I have a 3B, 3C curl pattern. What hair product would you recommend for me? I've been using leave-in conditioner, but I'm not sure it's the best option. Florida humidity kills.
The Florida humidity is real.
There is this product. It has a really interesting name. It's leaf flower, and it's a CBD infused frizz remedy.
Oh.
Find that product. It's going to be your best friend.
He says he hasn't had a trim for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, you should get on that. But I'm a cosmetologist, so I can do that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you have experience with Wen? If I don't know what Wen is, W-E-N.
I don't know either.
If so, what's your thoughts?
Oh, Wen. It is it's a shampoo and conditioner.
Okay.
A little bit of experience, actually. Yes, it's pretty heavy. If your hair is light and not, if you don't have coarse hair, I wouldn't recommend it.
Brett, we already asked that question, man. Sorry. Thank you for checking up on that, though. They were just making sure that we asked all the questions.
Oh, for the trimmers and the clippers? Yeah.
All right. So next question I kind of have is, as men get older and as women get older, but primarily I think men, they start to bald. You know what I mean? And so you have this kind of balding effect. So do you, as a barber, do you recommend men shaving? Do you recommend certain haircuts? Because I am not a fan of the comb over or pushing it to the front, but some men are, and they want that. But do you advise them against that type of stuff? Like, what do you do for that?
Again, I will cut your hair how you want me to cut your hair for the most part. I would say that.
What if they don't want to go bald? What do you do too? So those two answers.
Shorter is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shorter is better. I always say, let's get you kind of less is more, I guess, in those senses, because it makes it look fuller in ways that keeping it long is not going to do, because you're going to see that transparency through all of that. And there's ways to kind of like to hide and make it look fuller in the way that I cut it. But the comb over or your keeping it shorter are your options.
Yeah.
What about Gage? He's saying receding. How would you help a receding hairline?
I feel like you're all judging me now.
No, we've already judged you, man. You're done.
No judgment ever. I love head shaves. It's one of my favorite things to do.
That's why I did it, because I used to try to pull it over, and I'd try to push it over and make it fill out some of that because I've got a spot right here, you can see it doesn't grow any hair right in the middle. So I had to push some of this over to fill that in. And I finally just said, let's just shave it and get it over with. You know?
Yeah.
He reminds me of that comic character. You know, that one that just has a little baby.
I've
got a bald spot.
It's almost like Rugrat.
Yeah.
Like the Rugrat hairstyles.
Anyway, sorry. I think I cut in on the question there.
No, you're totally fine. So receding. Well, there's actually newer products these days that can help with that. There's one called, oh my gosh, I'm running a blank right now. Shoot. But you take pictures of your hair and you send it in to them, and they will give you a prescription for what you need for your hair to help grow it back. A lot of the times, environment and where you live, there's a lot of pollution in the air. You're actually going to recede a lot more. So making sure that you're cleaning your head a lot more, shampooing it, using the proper products. Nioxin is a great one.
Lots of people are giving you credit.
Thank you.
And the barbers in here. So you have Michael P, who's a barber. Yeah. You can tell she loves it. She's amazing. Then you have Bearded Ambitions. He's a barber, and she says you're very passionate, excited to do about her job.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So
Dave's another one that went to the Bald and Bearded. So
yeah, he did.
Part of the crew.
Awesome.
So here's another question for you. If a client wants a thick and long mustache, but also wants to clear from the bottom of the top lip, how would you go about that? This might be him because he has a very thick lip or thick.
Okay. So you're wanting to say, are you wanting like a handlebar mustache or more just like full?
Diablo, David, are you still in the chat where you can ask that question or answer that question? Why don't we answer it as if it's both ways?
Okay. So what I like to do is, if you're wanting it to be nice and full, I just kind of take along the line,
the
bottom line.
The nice full.
Okay. So yeah, I would just take it along the line here for you, and then take your comb and you go under it and just lightly hit the edges. So it gives it just a small taper, but it doesn't take the bulk out of it. And then you're able to leave your edges a lot fuller, but keep it out of your mouth, because you don't want to eat it.
No, yeah, right.
I actually love that answer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm horrible at trying to trim my mustache. I need to find a barber so that I can go in and have them do it. So
yeah.
So do you find
there you go, Dagan.
Yes, Dagan has an epic, like when he talks
19 or what was it, 19 inches, Dagan, from one side to the other. That's how long
you can't see his mouth when he talks. He looks like a ventriloquist.
Yeah, that photo that you showed me.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. That was another guy.
Oh, okay.
But I think I showed you two. If I showed you two, he was one of them.
Oh, okay.
But
that's wild.
Quick question.
I mean, you just got to brush that over. They're people.
So why should someone, now mind you, everyone in chat, I can guarantee you 100%, all of us have had an experience of a bad beard trim.
I'm sure.
So with that being said, why should we go to a barbershop and get a beard trim rather than do it ourselves?
Sorry.
So most of the time, a barber should know how to taper and fade in a beard appropriately, where when you're trying to trim it at home, it is harder for you to get the angles that you need to make it the shape that you need it. Typically when you're at home, you're taking one guard and you're just running it all over the beard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a barber never does that typically. If they're taking guards, they're using different guards at different areas for different lengths to give it that shape that you're actually looking for. That's hard to accomplish at home. To know where, because a lot of the times your chin, people have double chins, and that will make it look longer. If you're taking a guard over your chin and just following the face shape, then you're going to have that nice neck beard that nobody wants.
More street cred. You getting it?
Thank you.
So, what kind of bald head cleaners would you suggest?
In that, I would say like soap.
She stumped. You stumped her because who asked that question, Nicola?
So I would look for face cleansers more so. Well, your pH in your scalp and your face are going to be different. So shampoos, anything that you kind of want to wash your head with, I think is fine. Soap. Your soap. I'll suggest your soap.
A bar soap works really
Yep.
good for me. I'll use our bar soaps.
That's what I was. Yeah, your bar soaps.
Ooh,
I
so
do
this is a
use
great
I do
question.
use I do use a shampoo every once and again that has
We'll
no
get into it.
parabens and none of the extra, none of the extra preservatives and stuff in it. So
You have hair still, though. If you're looking for a bald head, just a bar of soap. With
yeah,
your hair, I would use a shampoo.
yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually bald. He's just gotten a little.
I get lazy.
Oh, I see.
That's why this came about originally. So I get lazy.
So,
I see.
Brian, Beards and Banjos is asking you a question. And Brian, we have touched on this, but not necessarily in depth. So, can you ask Shandi about how we would communicate what we want from a trim? What information does she want from a client? And we're talking about a beard trim.
So, in a beard trim, I mostly want to know what shape you're looking for. And if your goal is to make it longer, or if you're wanting to keep it the same length that you have it when you come in and just clean it up. Those are the biggest things that I need to know from you. Because if you have a goal of growing it longer and finding an eventual shape to it, like if you want it to be a long square beard, or if you want it to be more oval or more round, I need to know what your goal with your beard is before we can continue forward with how I'm going to cut it. Because that makes a difference as if I'm going to actually cut or if I'm just going to give it more of a cleanup and shaping.
Yeah, the transparency trim that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. To go back, and Sam, I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to skip it real quick and go to Chad. He wants to know, so we're talking about your head hair, I'm assuming. How often should you be washing your head hair?
For guys, I recommend every other day.
Oh, really? Not every day?
Mm-mm. You want your natural hair oils to... Most people are over shampooing their hair, stripping out the oils, and they're using drugstore products. I hope nobody in here does.
I hear what you're saying, though. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so they're stripping their hair down and they're stripping all of those oils off of their head. And then they're taking a conditioner to replenish that. So our hair wants our natural oils. If we let our hair, you have to do some training to it. Your hair's going to be greasy for a little while because it's used to overproducing the oils because you're totally stripping them out every day and then replacing them with conditioner. But using your natural oils for your hair is going to be shinier, silkier, fuller. It's going to feel a lot better. I wash my hair once a week as a girl. My hairdresser did tell me I probably should do it twice. So there's that.
Yeah. No, it's good knowledge to know.
Yeah.
So Donald, no, let's go back to him, Brian. Casey, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I was just going to ask. So depending on the activity level, like if you sweat a lot more, should you wash more often, or still just maybe do a rinse one day and then wash the next?
That's what I would suggest, is do a rinse and then wash the next.
Okay.
There are people who wash their hair twice a day. There are men who shower twice a day. So they'll wash their hair both times. So especially for those kind of men, I suggest you rinse it once in the morning and then shampoo it at night after you've worked and done all of your sweating for the day. And you need to get all that dirt and grime out. Shampoo it at night and then wash it in the morning. For people who wash it only once a day, that's how I would transition into those 2 days for sure, is for somebody who washes it twice a day, starting with only once and then going to every other, but rinsing every time.
Great question, Casey. So to go back to his initial question about, how do you talk to your the barber? He wants to know, do pictures help? I have guys who show me pictures that does not match what the guy is capable of growing.
Pictures absolutely help, but that's also where a barber needs to be honest, because if you're going to show a really nice full beard, but you have patches on your beard, your barber has to say, okay, if you want a full beard, don't touch it for a while. See how those patches come in. See where they're going to grow in.
And that bugged me so bad one time when a barber said that to me. And that's how I knew they were good. Just let it grow. I'm like,
I know. I get it. It drives you crazy. You can do small cleanups in between. So I have a guy who's been coming into me every 2 weeks while his beard has been growing. So we trim up the edges, we trim up the sides, but we don't fully clean everything up, so that we're just letting those patches grow in. so that eventually everything can be covered. But it takes time. It's a lot of time, and I get it's frustrating.
Yeah, it doesn't grow overnight, so
No.
it definitely takes time to get to where you want it sometimes.
Patience.
Mm-hmm.
Patience is key.
You're hitting all the right points here, Shandi. So,
dude, you have street cred up the wazoo right now. Like
Thank
you're killing
you.
it. So, sorry, all right. I have a full head of hair, but the hair is fine. If I want to style it but not slick it back, paste, clay, pomade, or gel.
Clay. I would use a clay for you. And actually, I would use there's a powder called Statement. It's STMNT. It is a spray powder. That is the best product I've ever used for that hair texture and type.
What's the spray powder cost? Or not cost, but what brand is it? Because I've seen that around.
It's Statement. That is the brand. So if you know who Stay Gold is as a barber, she's Sophie is her name. Just an influencer barber. It's one of her brands that she's created. And that spray powder, you just kind of pump it into closer to the roots, shake it through the hair, and that's going to give you texture, hold, and then you're able to take a clay and kind of put that on top of it. So it can be an additive or used by itself. And so you have options with it. I think that's the best product for you.
Love it.
It's a gold bottle.
And I will can you text me that?
I can.
And then if you want that information, please feel free to reach out to me on IG or email, and I'll get that from her.
Absolutely. I should have stopped on my way down, Michael. I wasn't terrible far away from Louisville. That would have been fun.
That would have. All right, Sam H wants to know tips on how to keep a handlebar mustache off away from the bottom of my top lip. My wife hates mine.
So you have to push it mostly over to the side and use waxes. You can take scissors. I would take small scissors and kind of trim just along kind of your Cupid's bow right there where it points up. And then that's actually going to help these push over to that side because short hairs push long hairs. So if you kind of take just a little bit and make a little notch is what I do. You don't see it, but it pushes those hairs over. So it helps it get off that bottom or that upper lip.
And again, guys, thank you. If you guys have any more questions for her, we have about 7 more minutes. So feel free to ask her. And you guys have asked some unbelievable questions.
This show went that fast?
Dude, I know.
Holy cow. I was not expecting that.
You've had a lot of wonderful questions.
Yeah.
You have a great show here. Thank you.
So when it comes to beard care and beard trimming and you're doing all this, can you tell a difference in color of beard, wiriness? Like for me, I have a wiry beard. It's starting to come in gray, so starting to lose that, how would you recommend me taking care of my beard compared to someone who's 30, just start growing a beard and it's nice and full? What's the difference in trimming? How do you make it so it looks more full? Like, what do you do?
So that really depends. It's going to be kind of the same with everybody. I'm going to tweak and adjust to what's going to work best for your beard, but I always have the same processes as well, because if I have the same processes, I have consistency with it. So I'm able to keep a consistent full beard by looking at you for one and seeing the areas. Everybody's different. Everybody's face shape is different. And it's not about making everything exactly even. It's about adjusting to what needs to be even. If that makes one side's going to look longer where the other isn't going to look, especially with color. There's an average of 3 to 5 different hair colors in people's beards.
Oh, okay.
So on average, that's typical. And it's the closest to ethnic hair that most people are going to deal with on a daily basis because of the curliness in it. So using flicks to make sure you're not digging into beards and pulling away from the beard as you're kind of trying to clean up those edges. It's really adjusted with every single client, to be honest, to what's best with your face shape, transparency, and
So
it's a
all
lot of the
dependent on
education that I've gone through.
Yes, just a lot of dependent on the client.
Yeah, on the person, their genetics, just like their hair. Everyone has a different head. Everyone has a different face. So you're not going to trim the same way for everyone. So
exactly.
All right. So Ellie asked a question. And Ellie, again, like you said, she's extremely loyal to this channel and to Copper Johns. And so she asked, I need to cut off like 8 inches. But it's really that much hair for it to be considered a style change when it's the same style, just shorter.
Oh, it would be, I mean, I would just consider that as a haircut because it's the same style. But do you just typically cut it straight across? That's the biggest question there. If it's something that's super basic, it's going to just be a haircut. I wouldn't necessarily say that's as a style change. Yeah.
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
What would you consider a style change? Like just drastic changes or
something drastic? Yeah. For men especially, if they come in with long hair and they all of a sudden want to go to a short haircut, I would call that a transformation cut.
Yeah.
But if they're wanting to come in and they're saying, I have long hair and I want to cut it to here, from here to here, that's just a basic haircut.
Okay.
Trim.
That's everyone wants to know why 8 inches. So, you want to tell everyone a little bit about your shop at the end so that those who are listening and who will be listening.
And there might be some people in the Utah area. Yeah.
Where they can find you, if you have your phone number, if you want to give that, or website, whatever you want. The platform is yours.
So it's called That Gentleman's Barbershop. I'm on 216 24th Street in Ogden, Utah. We have just a really traditional, awesome barbershop that
it's really nice. I like
social medias.
I love it. I'm so proud of it. I'm happy that it is. I've worked hard to get to this point, and so I'm happy to be here. And I genuinely appreciate all of our clients and the barbers that stuck through it with me, because it wasn't the easiest thing to get to that point. But yeah, we all love it there. Our website is thatgentlemansbarbershop.com. And you can Google that as well. We are on Booksy, but our booking system is actually going to be changing to Squire. So I'm going to have an app that is That Gentleman's Barbershop as well. So you can find us on the app, online, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place.
Nice. And we do have the Instagram posted in the description. So if anyone wants to find that, go find her on Instagram, and maybe we can post a few of the other socials down there when we're done here too.
Absolutely. I can give you all those.
Everyone's saying happy birthday and congratulations. You have you can tell you're passionate. You can tell you worked hard to know your craft, and the sky's the limit. You're going to go well. You're going to
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I hope so. I have big goals.
So we have one more question, it looks like, and then the hour's up, then you can go party.
Awesome.
So what kind of combs or brushes do you use? Any particular company?
So when I'm cutting, I use Andis clipper combs a lot. I like the 420 combs, the size of them. That's actually the name of the comb, is the 420s. And then those are just what I use to do all of my trimming, beard work, anything, haircuts. I also like to use, I can't remember.
Thank you guys.
The exact name, but they have really nice wide teeth to it, and then really fine teeth on the other side. That way you're able to get a little bit more of a loose hold to it, so things feel softer. People don't remember what you said, but they always remember how you made them feel. So that's one thing that I always keep in mind.
Yeah, I like using those wider teeth just to get the separation, and then excuse me, they use the finer ones to try to straighten it out and finish it more. Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
For real today was great info. I turned under my lip 10 minutes before the show.
Awesome.
And then Cruz says, looking forward to meet you, Shandi, and possibly recording some content.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
So
nice.
And then he says, ask her to check out Chicago Combs for Beards. I've actually talked to her about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I do remember you talking about those.
Yeah,
I
about
will.
the anti-static carbon fiber combs.
Yeah, those
Yes,
that
I did
carbon
have a
fiber.
carbon fiber comb once. I wasn't a fan of that one particularly, but maybe it was just that one.
I'll
Okay.
bring you one here next week and you can try it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd love to.
So we have several from fine tooth to long and wide. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, see, he just wants to ask her about Chicago combs.
Okay.
Because Chicago combs for beards are amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll have to try those out then.
So yeah, I'll bring you one.
Great.
I like they'll never break either. I mean, they'll last forever.
They do last. Those carbon fibers.
I've dropped combs before that just shattered as soon as they hit the floor. It was bad. I won't mention the company, but these I've dropped several times. I don't know what it is about me and dropping combs, but they'll never had a time break or nothing. So they're really solid combs.
Awesome.
So everyone is absolutely just loving the stream. Shandi, you made the stream. I really appreciate you tonight. You've been a wonderful guest and wonderful just listening and answering everyone's questions. We definitely, if you'd be happy, would have us again. We'd love to have you on.
Yes, I would absolutely love it. Thank you guys.
The questions just kept coming, and then I think people now trust you even more. So word of mouth.
This show felt like it took 10 minutes. I swear. That's how good of a time I was having. So awesome show. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
And everyone have a wonderful night. Go enjoy Beard Advice Live on Dan's channel. Shandi, again, happy birthday. Take care. And Shandi, if you want to wait after this, we can talk in the green room for just a sec if you want.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful night.
See everyone.
Bye.